All right, Cynthia. So what was the deal? So here you are. You call like your contractors. You're trying to get people lined up to do your project, and this one contractor asked you about the structure, what type of structure you're using, right?
Yes, he asked if I'm doing a center beam. And I said, I don't know, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's whatever the architect is doing. So then he said, okay, well, if they're working on the plans, ask them if they are using a clear stand eye joist, wall to wall, or an open truss, or are they doing an LVL rim joist? And he said those options are going to be less expensive than the other ones. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna write this down because I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So the first thing I want to tell you is like when we try to frame this, we try to figure out um a logical way of framing it. All of these options that they mentioned are great for different reasons and different scenarios. So let's start with the clear span eye joist. So the eye joist, if you don't know what they look like,
I
the
know they
eye
look like eye, but like that,
yeah,
yes,
no,
the
but
middle.
these ones are these pieces. Let me see what the best picture is.
Ese
Oh,
que está ahí, the one that says Boise Cascade. Is that not an eye joist? Oh,
okay, eye joist. So they are engineer members that can span all the way from one side of the building with to the other side of the building. Most of the time, for residential purposes, they're perfect because there's no columns, there's no beams, there's this whole thing. So this would actually be your floor assembly, like it will
okay.
be made out of this. Now, what's the thing? They tend to get very deep sometimes. They go like I think they go from 9 and 7/8 to like 20 something inches, right? And it all depends on how far it goes. So they are becoming much more like feasible nowadays because the cost of lumber is so crazy anyway. So people
Mhm.
use it. You have a lot of space to put stuff inside the floors, blah 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 blah. For new construction, I would recommend it. For a building that we're kind of trying to turn it into another, like add a floor to it, it would limit your ceiling height a little bit, or maybe not. But it would actually the ceiling height is a problem.
Okay.
It wouldn't, it would make the stair longer because you got to go up more, right? They're deep.
Gotcha.
So they're
Okay.
great. They're great for that. The open truss, it's simply exactly what they say. It's like instead of having, and what they said for the ceiling, it will be for the floor, for your second floor.
For the second floor.
For the open truss, it's a truss like this, like a system of truss. That
Uh-huh.
will be your roof, and you buy them. Like I tell you what they are, what the sizes need to be, and you buy them, and they come and they're done. You don't have to. They don't have to do a lot of cutting and a lot of messing with it and whatever. We
Okay.
didn't we didn't size an open truss
Okay.
on our case, but and we also didn't do open eye joists either.
Okay.
So those are two options right there. So what does this do? So instead of having like floor joists, like ceiling joists that you have to put, the whole truss takes care of your roof and takes care of your ceiling. You just have to put strapping below it and
Uh-huh.
attach your gypsum wall board to it, and you have your finished ceiling done.
Gotcha.
That's it.
So that open trust has nothing to do with the actual second floor, just with the roof line, correct?
Exactly. That's just
Okay.
the roof. Has only to do with the roof.
Gotcha.
And is a member again. You pick it up. I'll tell you what I tell him what the sizes are. They make him or they already have him. They'll probably have to make it. And then that's it. With the span, you're done. You don't have to
Okay.
mess with anything. They don't have any beams. They don't have anything. So going back to your building, so you know what I'm talking about on your property. So basically, this entire roof piece
Mhm.
structurally will be one element, and
Gotcha.
you're done. Like that's it. So like this piece that you see with insulation here, by the way,
Yep.
which we actually just put insulation here. I go, but this is again, I don't want
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
correct
No,
it.
that's
Yeah,
fine. Yeah, no, I know you guys are
but
still working on it.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. So this whole thing right here
Yep.
will come as a one structure. Right
Gotcha.
now, we have a two by member that goes from here to there that will be sitting on some of these walls, and then another member That's another 2x that are different members at 16 inches on center, all through your entire floor center, your entire
Gotcha.
ceiling. And so that's that thing. The other option that they were talking about, it will be more feasible for this. And it will be the I joist that will go all the way from this side to this side and done. They don't
But
need any
isn't
columns.
that what you're saying, that that's going to then limit my ceiling height on the second
It
floor?
wouldn't necessarily limit your ceiling height, to be honest. It actually just increases your floor height, like the stairs, because we probably maintain the same ceiling height. We just go up with it,
Right,
and it will just do it like that, right?
okay,
So it means that your stair will have to go higher and it will have to be longer by whichever amount of depth we need. And like I can quickly try to tell you how deep they would need to be for that. I
Now,
don't know. I think the cost comparison, they get pricey. They are pricey because you're still doing them. Maybe you don't do them at 16 inches on center, so they're not that many. You might do it at 24 inches on center, so it
Okay.
will save you a member within. But they cost more than a 2x8 or
Okay.
2x10.
So then the other thing that he mentioned was an LVL rim joist. What is that?
So the LVL rim joist that he's talking about is like grabbing an LVL on the edge all around your entire building. And now I never seen that term being used, by the way, like that. So I'm assuming he means an LVL will be all around your perimeter of your building, and then you're gonna attach your joist to them. But this joist, I wouldn't do that. I don't know why you would want to do that. You do that sometimes when you want to gain some heights on your ceiling,
Okay,
but you still will have to do something with what we did. You still will have to do what we did.
okay,
Like these members right here will have to still be supported by a beam somehow. So I don't know why you would do that. So we got the truss, the I joist, and the LVL rim joist. Yeah, I don't know why they would. So that's what the rim joist is. Like the LVL will go all around the whole thing, but it's only to gain height, so that
okay.
the whole floor sits on top of that. But you still need joists to support the middle. Like it's
I
not
would
doing anything.
assume, right? Or else
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just gonna come in.
exactly. So that wouldn't save you
Okay.
anything.
So then what is it that we are doing? We're doing a center beam, right? Is that what we're
Yeah,
doing?
exactly. So we have a beam that will go through the middle, some posts that will go inside the walls, and hopefully, hopefully they have to land within walls and locations where you wouldn't see them, and they still do have to uh be supported by whatever structure you already have below. There may be some
So,
reinforcement that need to be done to the columns that you already have, or new columns that need to be put. Ideally, we just reinforce the ones that you have. I know you do want to get rid of some in the future, so we have to mitigate that part. But that's we're basically doing like a conventional framing, like
okay,
um for for retrofitting a building. Like the I joist, those are things that I consider early on. Like, okay, we're building this building new, and I have seen them done for that first floor on the basement, like that first floor. They're all
mhm,
I joist because all your mechanical goes right through it. They can actually cut holes through it, and it's
that
great.
makes sense, yeah.
But I in the ceiling and there you're gonna pour concrete, so you can go lower. That's all good. So um so that's where I have seen them. So
Okay.
my answer to your contractor is we're
Just do whatever you
doing.
tell him to do.
Yeah, but he has wiggle room. Like he could quote it in whichever way he wants, to be honest. Like what I did here, he could say, you know what, I'm gonna get a truss for the roof. Are you guys okay with it? Well, would it save me anything when it comes to my roof framing? If it does, then yes, just make sure that just remember I'm going to insulate the roof itself.
Mhm,
Nothing changes in there.
okay,
Sometimes the issue is also if you want to use that roof for whatever, the truss sometimes the ones that he's saying is open, so it wouldn't have like the zigzags that you see inside the truss,
uh-huh,
so it's an open one. There are another ones that are called, I think those are the ones, scissor trusses they call them, scissor trusses. Now we just can't size everything, so we're
right,
like we pick Actually, this wouldn't be an open one, but this is a scissor truss, and it's good when people are gonna do cathedral ceilings too.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you have like conventional.
I also hate that you have your caps lock on. Only psychopaths do that.
We draft in architecture or with caps on.
Really?
Have you seen all of our drawings? You don't see lowercase
No,
at
I
all.
see that, but I mean, that's a drawing. I'm like, that's just weird. I never knew that. I'm gonna make that a trivia question.
Here you go. All caps for all architectural. That's a must. If you see even on our cover page,
Yeah,
boom. Because it is much more legible than regular writing. So
right.
they
Especially
actually
when they
teach us
photocopy, right?
in architectural school, they make us have to that's the first class. Hand lettering and hand drawing like all caps. So that's
Wow.
you may see some things that aren't, but like this is like how they do it on the code, like the building inspect, like that's how they do it. So
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it should all be all caps.
yeah.
So
Okay.
sometimes I send messages to people and I get in trouble because they think I'm yelling. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm an architect. That's but there's quick buttons, shift F3 changes it.
Yeah.
So that's easy. So I change. So
Yeah.
these are your truss options. I think the one that he's saying is like this, like open.
Okay.
I guess it's almost like a collar tie. I don't know. But he's saying one option, that's all. Like this is what we're doing for conventional framing right here.
Gotcha.
But
And to
this
me, I would think that that is cheaper than doing a truss.
oh well, cheap in so you got to think
Like less
about
expensive, I
there
should
are,
say.
there are only two ways that you save money. You either save money on labor or on the material. So the thing is, labor is much more expensive than material all day long. So if
Yeah,
this truss comes in, they don't have to be cutting this lumber piece by
that's true.
piece and attaching piece by piece. This actually they teach us. I go in architecture school for the exams. What's the most like? What would you suggest to your client on a weather in Alaska where there's shortage in labor? Like they do all these crazy scenarios, and you're like, well, there's not much labor. The weather is horrible, so they have to have a very small window of opportunity to build what they need to build before they get a storm. Well, pre-manufactured, get it at a warehouse, come ship it that same day, assemble it that same day, you're roofed that same day, done. So
Okay.
that I would recommend that on that one. So, well, if it is in a locality where labor is abundant and it's cheap, well, have the guys just have
Right.
fun on the middle of July on the roof,
And get it
sweating.
done, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's all good. They need it.
So
So that's
then if he or whomever we end up hiring, would they then, like, once you stamp your permit set, would they then be able to then say, oh, we're actually not gonna do this roof line, we're gonna do trusses? Like, how restrictive is that? That's, I
they
don't,
can. They can. What I want them to do is to call us
okay,
and to say, hey, Darwin, or hey, Mr. Architect, we think it will save the client a lot more money if we were to do such and such, such and such.
okay,
And then I would say, on that case, have the lumberyard size those members for these spans
gotcha,
and
okay,
send us a document that it says that they are the winner, that that it's all set.
gotcha,
And then on that case, they got it. Now,
okay,
in that case, it's like design build almost. Like they are taking all the liability and responsibility
mhm,
over those
mhm,
guys. It is
right,
perfectly fine. We just don't get to that level of detail of saying, hey, Cynthia, do you want this trust? Do you want
right.
that? Like it would take months for us to
It would
do
take
every
forever,
build. Yeah, yeah.
right? And it's too detailed for any one consumer, like,
Exactly. That's what I was saying to a client today. Like, I don't design for the unicorns. I design for the generalities. Like, if we
right,
were to actually do all of our doors for the Shaquille O'Neals, then that would be a problem. Well,
exactly,
so there's always a 1% that we won't be able to fit in our repertoire. I want to be everything for everybody what I can. So
right,
so that's the case with this one. So I would want them to call me, even
mhm,
with the member, because I mean I love all of our clients, so I try to love all of our clients. So I actually would look at the trust that they're specifying, go into our structural software, which we have. The link is not working, and I will go out onto the trust systems I don't think that's the one actually. But I will go into the truss systems, these guys, and I would start saying, well, or color ties. This is the color ties. Where's the truss? We have the truss. I'm missing it. And I would say, well, yeah, that works. Oh no, hold on 1 second. Are you sure they did it
Mhm.
right? Because at the end, I'm not even trying to protect the contract. I'm trying to protect you. I'm like, I don't want
So
this thing to fall.
correct. Yep.
So, and I would check it out. I know cost. I would just, it would be like a minute checking. Like, yeah,
Right.
all good.
Right. It's the
Um,
same thing as me writing an offer for a client. Be like, wait, let me just run my market analysis. Let me make sure you're not overpaying. 2 seconds. Hold on. Good to go.
Exactly.
So
You go that little extra mile that doesn't cost me a whole lot. Like this right now. Like it's just, I do this for every client. Of course, your preferred client. But I'm
we
like,
out.
yeah, I'm like, and I was learning at the same time. So it's like it's a mandatory learning for her right now too. So
There you
so those are the things.
I must say, I am terribly sorry that you got me because I am not only a realtor, but I'm also a flipper. So I am that 1% that takes a look at the plans and is like, I need to verify that measurement. Let me
I
double
love
check
it.
that. Like that is me. You're not gonna get very many clients like me.
We've
I'm
had
just,
we've had we have three. We've had
yeah,
three clients,
I'm
like
I'm
four,
two of
four,
those.
four, four, actually four. I know
I'm
them
two
by
of those, okay?
names. I know them by names, last names, and addresses. They
It's not
cost
to be difficult. It's just that's just the world that I'm in, right? Because I've done so many flips, I know to look at and ask certain questions that a regular consumer typically would not ask, right?
but at the
Like
same
a regular
time,
consumer would take the plans and be like, yes, let's put a window there. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the map at the plans and I'm like, wait, that seems like a supporting beam right there. We can't cut into that. You know what I mean? Like, so don't get scared.
no, it's all good. And I like, well, like they're the 1% of clients that like I need they're like you, but they're not nice about it.
Oh,
So there's that too. Like it's like, well, um and
I
they
try to be
expect
nice.
they expect everything, like
Yeah,
I'm like, well, I'm not picking your doorknobs. I'm sorry. Like we didn't
yeah,
get,
no,
there is Ionic, Doric, and Corinthian. We have like devil. So if you're not a Corinthian, you don't pay for
no,
Corinthian, you're not getting that.
no.
But at the same time we treat everybody the same way. So I you were gonna say something.
Oh, no, no, I'm good.
So that's the case. So I guess I answered your question. So the trust one, this is what they're talking about. It comes pre-assembled. It's easy to put together. You get your roof. It means you also probably actually you might want to go up another floor in the future, and you can actually reuse the same trusses. That's another thing. Um,
Oh, okay. That's like the
yeah,
same ones that I currently
you
have?
could grab and bribe back up. Do you have trusses right now?
Yes.
You could reuse them
Okay.
potentially. I will have to evaluate them, and we've done it where they reuse them, and it's perfectly
Okay.
fine. Um, but it saves you on labor time,
Okay.
but not necessarily on material.
One
The
other question that just popped in my head.
Mhm,
We're building a second floor. Do
mhm.
I need a structural engineer? Like,
No, we're doing it.
oh,
So our drawings right here. Well, I don't. Yeah. So we are. This is what exactly what we're doing. We're engineering what you need to do to make this thing work. So all of these
okay.
members, like we're calling 2x12s, we're
Yeah.
calling LBL, this LBL right here. Actually, that's calls for a solid song. But whatever that member is, we're sizing it. We're
Okay.
sizing all of those members so that it doesn't fall. Like it's
That's what I
structurally.
assumed, but I'm like, I'm sure Darwin would have told me, or Igel would have told me, hey,
Yeah.
go hire a structural engineer. Like, so I was like, wait, I don't need to worry about that.
Exactly. So we're handling all of that stuff in there. If there's something I'm not comfortable with, I immediately would like say, hey, we need somebody else. This is above my pay grade, so I can't do
Yeah,
it. But
absolutely. Like we did here. I mean, there was a lot of, other people that were involved in this project, which by the way, got me thinking, can we add another floor to this building?
you probably can.
Future thinking. Start thinking about that.
No, you can. You probably can. I was talking to somebody about your project. That building is actually super engineered. I saw those LB like those steel beams that they have, the brick in there. It's pretty heavy. It's pretty
Yeah.
strong. On that one, I would not want to stamp that. I would want a structural engineer to actually tell me, yeah, this can actually structurally support another floor above.
Yep. When I
Um,
would expect that, I mean, we would be adding a whole other floor, and not that we are, it's just like,
mhm, mhm.
when there's no flips to do, you start looking at what you can do.
Yeah, yeah. But these things, single family residential, I do it all day long.
Okay.
Everybody here at Flow does it all day long, no problem whatsoever. So
Awesome.
so far we haven't had any casualties. I don't think we will have any issues. It's with adding one floor, I'm good. Adding two floors, then I'm gonna be I don't know.
Yeah.
And we've even done 3 floor. I have a property in PVD. We're doing 3 floors. So and it's been good so far.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope this answers all of your questions. And
Did.
I go like I'm gonna put this on YouTube so everybody can watch it.
Come on, yo, you should have told me that. I had to put some lipstick on.
All right.
Damn.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll talk. Bye-bye.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye, guys.